left all the night, minutes passed by. Now it's like days, turning the light, turning the light. Can't do my lights, what a surprise. Paralyzed, she lived for the night, oh na na na, oh na na na. She ain't got time, oh na na na, oh na na na. And after the truth came, I was done. But I died for you, set me on fire. Oh no, 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 set me on fire. I never thought I'd love someone like you. I just wanna run, but I can't move. Yeah, I've been better. Wish I was better. You just have to let me die for you. She lived for the night, oh na na na, oh na na na. She ain't got time, oh na na na, oh na na na. And after the truth came out, I was done. But I'll die for you, die for you. Set me on fire. Set me. What is up? What is up? 360 in the house. How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's doing good. This video is brought to you by 4C Media Co. and 360 Trader. The best in global financial and crypto news. I want to give a quick shout out, man. Gotta do it. Quick shout out, you guys in the chat. Hit up my boy Nash. Thank you, Nash, for everything that you do. I love you. I would not exist without you. So everybody say hello to Nash. Yeah. Are we kicking it off with the flip of the switch? If you have been following my videos, you know exactly what we're going to be looking at. If you've been watching them week to week, you are on track. You know exactly what's going on, and I'm going to keep it that way for you. So yesterday was very good. I'm going to put it that way. Yesterday was very good. What we're going to do today is we're going to spend time on the macro overview, and then Friday, because of where we're at in the cycle, it's time to get back into altcoin madness. So Friday, we're just going to talk altcoins. Yes, I know. That's really what you guys want to hear. I know you hate this stuff right here, but this is what makes the altcoins work, okay? So you've got to understand this concept so that you can understand altcoin madness. All right, so you can't have one without the other. If you're on Twitter, they make it seem like you can, but you really can't. People talking about what's wrong with this coin, what's wrong with that coin. Well, you're really just not paying attention to the macroeconomics of what's happening with Bitcoin and Ethereum and the relationship between the two. Yes, I know. So you only have to wait 2 more days. 2 more days. Altcoin madness on Friday. So today you got to put it with a market overview. These are very important. Look, if you're new, you need to subscribe. You do, because I literally am keeping you ahead and on track and on point with everything that's happening with this crypto cycle. Yeah. Uh-oh. Sound? Can you guys hear me? Somebody's saying sound. Is that just on T-Bird's end? Nash, let me know. Make sure. Okay, you guys can hear me. All right. T-Bird, I think it's on your end, brother. Okay. All right. Yeah, so let's go ahead and just go ahead and get started, man. All right, I'm going to move y'all over. We're going to do a share screen. All right, let me make sure we got the right screen. Yeah. let's just start with Bitcoin. All right. Yeah. Let me grab my arrow. Don't need that. Yeah. So we're going to back out of this to the weekly chart so you can see the expanding channel, okay, that this bad boy has been in from day one. Yeah. So this is a multiple touch channel from the lows. The bear market lows, which saw Bitcoin as low as 15K, that is gone forever. Yeah, you ain't never seeing that again. You probably aren't going to see much of this ever again. And we've talked about why, but that's not what we're going to look at right now. So we're going to look at right here. Every time we've gone into one of these, the end of cycle theorists and the apocalyptic people have come out of the woodwork. You guys know that. Let me expand this a little bit. Trying to make it look right on your screen as well, because I've got a big old monitor here. So, all right. Yeah. They tried to call this end of cycle. We said no. We actually played this to perfection. This 220-day where we had half profit taking, half reaccumulation, and absolutely zero end of cycle distribution. Bang! Into the next leg and into the 110-day pullback plus accumulation yet again. And once more, the apocalyptic end of cycle people came out of the woodwork and said that was it. Bitcoin was not going any higher. We said that is incorrect. Also, there was no end of cycle distribution. Now, I want to be very clear in both of these massive, never seen before periods of consolidation / reaccumulation. We've never seen these in any other cycle with this length of time. Okay, that's very, 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 very important. Why? Because completely different things are happening this cycle that has never happened any other cycle in history. And that is the accumulation of Bitcoin by nations, states, governments, and the fastest growing corporations. Yes. And so inside both of these, instead of having any end of cycle distribution, you have normal profit taking, which is normal, putting you into the correction, but the end is all reaccumulation. You have the same thing here. This is all reaccumulation. Yep. Into a new leg. Now, we're messing around out here. So we're going to zoom in on this. All right, I'm going to zoom in on this. So we're going to go to the daily chart. Yep. And we're going to take a look at this. All right. So I want to talk about what everybody in their, not everybody, but you guys know. You guys that are on Twitter, you guys that are listening to everybody know. So herein we have our short-term double top where we got our 110-day correction. And then we got this sweep of the highs. You see how this swept the highs here? This actually went higher right here. And what was everybody on Twitter saying? Everybody on Twitter was saying that we were going to get a repeat of 2021 cycle. Yep. So everybody's saying we're going to get this. Let me show you. So this is the last cycle. A sweep of the high. Yep. And that would be it. Yep. That's what everybody was saying about this guy. Yeah. Let me make one thing very, very, very clear. Let me make it very clear. There is nothing fundamentally the same about Bitcoin this cycle as there was in any of the other cycles. Nothing, even remotely. And first and foremost, we had no distribution volume in here, none. massive reaccumulation volume, and this can be determined and seen by on-chain data. It's not even remotely close to being the same thing. And everybody up here, and we talk about psychological levels, all right? One of the most psychological levels is the 100,000 marker. Yep. About right in there. Yeah, so we got breaks above, and off we go. All right. And this actually provided some resistance there before on the first time. So you have your false breakout of 100K right here in this double top. This is the part that the end of cycle people and the sweep of the high people did not pay attention to and are not looking at. Did not look at all. And that is the power of this 100K as a major psychological level of resistance and support. Yep. And all of a sudden now, look what held up. Look what held up as support. The level no one thought about. None of these sweep of the high people considered that 100K once broken on the third attempt 1, attempt 2, reaccumulation, boom, move up. Now this pulls all liquidity from these highs, yes, but look at the reaction. Look at the reaction, the impulsive reaction off of 100K. Yep. I believe Bitcoin is now setting up for its run into its next resistance, which for me is the channel top. Now, this isn't just probably going to go straight up to it, but I believe this is all part, just like you have this run. Look at this run right here. From here to here. Okay. It doesn't just go straight up. It's got its dips, and then it hits. This is where I think we're going. On a mega massive channel. Now, I still don't think this is going to be the end for Bitcoin because that puts Bitcoin close to 130K. That's where I believe we're headed next. Close to about 130K for Bitcoin is all part of this leg. Okay, this is just a pullback in the middle of what I believe is coming, and that is a continuation of this leg. We have to see what the reaction is of sellers here before we can say anything else. Yes, I do believe Bitcoin is probably headed much higher this cycle than here. However, until we see this, until we have this, we don't know for sure. But again, there has never been yet throughout this entire move from the bear market lows to any of these highs, and I want you to hear this closely, there has not been any end of cycle distribution volume, and that is why the callers of this as the end of cycle were wrong. It is why the callers of this as the end of cycle is wrong. And so far, none has come in yet for this. And now we have a 100K hardcore resistance, false breakouts, now all of a sudden holding up as solid support with a major reaction. This is a very impulsive major reaction off of 100K. Man, it's delicious. All right, next, Ethereum. Uh-oh. I told y'all that have been watching, you know the level. The key level is and has been 2,800. I'm going to move this over so y'all can see this. This is a pretty hardcore price action range. Pretty hardcore. It actually goes further back, but this is as far back as I'm going to go. You can actually take this chart back and you can see even more how this holds up as support and resistance. Look, and now that we've re-entered it off the lows, the odds of us going lower outside of maybe a liquidation event were slim. We're slim. And now we are working on, Ethereum is now working on right now, the level of levels the level of levels, which is 2,800. And look at this nice close yesterday. So yesterday, off of yesterday's price action move into and above 28, barely. We have nice confirmation volume. Oop, you can't see it behind my picture. Let me move it. Yep, there it is. We have a good, decent volume here coming into this. So now we need a solid move. And by the way, right here, all the way up to 3,200, this entire zone right here, made possible by these red directional candles. This is all inside liquidity. And so on any solid thrust from up here, I see Ethereum hitting 3,200 pretty quickly as soon as it makes this solid push. Now, what we want to see, that's all fun. That's all nice. But what we want to see is this then hold up as support. So if we do get that move, any pullback from there, we want to see hold up as support. Yep. And make our run to where? The highs that we've reached for this cycle, which is 4K. That's right. Yep. I do believe Ethereum can achieve this by end of July, beginning of August. 4K. Yes. Absolutely. I do believe Ethereum can not only, I already told you my prediction for this month was that Ethereum has flipped the switch. Now we don't have the final confirmation of that Ethereum, the queen, takes the reins from Bitcoin and flips that switch and takes dominance. I do believe we see that this month if we have not already. Again, it's impossible to tell off the lows until you have confirmation after confirmation after confirmation. We don't have that yet. But I think we see Ethereum at 4K by end of July. Yeah, I mean, by end of July. I think this is highly possible. August at the latest. And guys, that's not even the ATH. That's not even the ATH. That's why we have so far to go. We have so much fun ahead. This is the all-time high, right around 4,800. Yep. We have a long ways to go. A very enthusiastically enjoyable summer, fall, and winter. Possibly even deep into the first or second quarter of 2026. Yep. So let's go back. So again, this is the all-time high from last cycle. From the last cycle. Like Ethereum has just barely scratched the surface. It's just getting started. All right. So let's go look now at our dominance charts to see, is Bitcoin actually handing over the reins? So Bitcoin has had dominance since the very beginning. It has not given it up. Is this the end of dominance for Bitcoin? Now, it's a little too early to say because we do still need some confirmation. However, I wanted you to see this channel because that's what's been holding up as resistance. It is massive. Look at this massive channel that Bitcoin has been in literally since 2021, folks. Bitcoin has had dominance since 2021. Yep. Right now, the top of that channel is what is holding resistance. The median has already been tested once. We now have a potential triple top here. If this breaks, I expect the median to break and revisit 61%. This right here, 61%, this horizontal right here would be the nail in the coffin for Bitcoin dominance. Let's see what Ethereum dominance looks like because you need both of them. Right now, Ethereum dominance all at once. And you can see the trend. This is from June 2024 Ethereum has never had dominance. And right now, Ethereum has the opportunity to establish that this is a higher low and that we're going to net a higher high. So we're looking for this breakout of this small ascending pennant on Ethereum. And that is what it's working on right now. And look at this volume. Beautiful volume coming in off the lows. You have your downtrend breakout. You have your ascending pennant. And now we have volume coming in and we're knocking on the door. Yeah. What else does this confirm with? This confirms with that 2,800 level of Ethereum. I told you that is the all-important level of 2,800 for Ethereum. Why? Because it confirms that Ethereum is in an uptrend. Let's go back and look at that again. It will confirm that Ethereum is in an uptrend. Because all we have right now is a low and one leg up. You see this? We have the low and one leg up. It's not a trend. In order to have the trend, we need the higher low. There it is. We need the higher low and a higher high. Then you know you have a trend. Then you know you have a trend. Right now, all we have is a leg up off the lows and consolidation. So by breaking 2,800, we have major, massive confirmation for Ethereum. And oh my goodness, your alts are going to love it. Your alts are going to love it. Everything that is needed, everything that is needed is in place for the piece, the part, the component of the cycle that has not happened yet. The biggest part, where the king graciously hands over dominance, hands the reins to the queen, which is Ethereum, and my gosh, then we get everything we want for our altcoins and Ethereum. I mean, all these people keep calling end of cycle. None of them, listen, none of them are doing any analysis on volume. None of them. A simple volume study will show that in none of Bitcoin's tops have they come anywhere close to any of the previous cycles when it comes to selling. But you're telling me Bitcoin can top and then be done with less volume than any other cycle? You're out of your mind. It's mathematically impossible. It is a major misstep on the part of charting analysts to neglect an entire half of the book. It's a major misstep, huge misstep. And it's why we've been right so far every stinking time. Guys, Friday, we are going to have altcoin madness. We are going to break into some of the hot ones, some of the ones that are setting up to be hot, and some of the laggy ones. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, baby. Here comes the boom.